What is up, guys? Welcome to another RGBtv review, and today we got a review for you of Disney's Aladdin.
All right, Jonathan. So this past weekend, we both got a chance to see the 2019 version of Aladdin.
Yes.
Starring Mina Masood
Yes.
as the titular character, Naomi Scott as Jasmine, and probably most famously, Will Smith as the genie himself. So why don't you tell us a little bit of your thoughts on the film?
Okay, so when it comes to Disney animated cartoons, my favorite or top two has always been Aladdin. Probably tie with Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been an Aladdin fan. Huge. I've seen all three of Aladdin's cartoon movies, and I used to watch the animated TV show religiously growing up. So I was very excited when I heard live action Aladdin. Now, the whole controversy with the Will Smith casting is that he just looked straight up unfinished and terrible in the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the genie, it's Will Smith in blue makeup. So that got me like just really worried about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into it expecting kind of crap. I was pleasantly surprised, dude. Super surprised. If I had to compare it to a live action being done well, it would be to The Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm.
I like this much more than The Jungle Book. Now, it's not great. There's some problems, but I had a fun time. I think the actors did a decent enough job. They all did good, including, Will Smith as the genie. For the most part. There's one major gripe that I had, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But overall, I had a fun time. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was good. Not great, but I thought it was good.
Okay. I went into it with lower expectations, and like you, I was also a huge fan of Aladdin. I'd say Aladdin is probably my favorite, number one of all of the classic, I guess, 90s, late 80s, early 90s Disney cartoons. Aladdin has always been my favorite. So going into it, I was cautiously optimistic. I wasn't expecting them to reinvent the wheel or anything, right? What we got was basically a almost scene for scene reimagining.
It was faithful
of the classic cartoon, very faithful to the original. I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I thought that Will Smith really stole the show, and Will Smith, stepping into the shoes of Robin Williams, one of the greats, right? One of Hollywood's greats, and basically a legendary performance as Genie in the OG cartoon. Mm-hmm. So having him fill in the role of Robin, I was a little bit skeptical at first, but I gotta say that I was highly entertained. I really enjoyed his performance, and like I said, I felt he stole the show.
He made it his own.
He did.
He didn't try to copy or imitate Robin Williams. Like, he did his Will Smith isms.
Yeah. I agree. Oh god, you gonna rob me up? What can we say about the movie? I felt that the direction was pretty solid throughout. I'd say there were a few moments like early on in the film where some of the stylistic choices that I think Guy Ritchie was the director of the film, that he made, like in the I forget the name of the song, but I think it's the Street Rat, the Aladdin's like opening song, right? The
one jump
ahead of the something, whatever.
Yeah.
There were a few moments where like the action kind of like went slow motion.
Yep.
But like the tempo of the song was like, continuous. It didn't slow down the tempo, but the action just slowed down, and then also like sped up too. Like,
there was a lot of weird editing. Like, I don't know if what happened in the whole thing. Maybe the song wasn't complete, so they filmed it in like different speeds or tempos.
I think that's just,
if it was a stylistic choice. I thought it was weird because of how obvious it was.
I think that's more just Guy Ritchie's like his directorial style, because he actually directed. He's directed a lot of movies, but one of them was like the old Sherlock Holmes film with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, I love those.
And in that movie, there's a lot of slow motion scenes. Yeah. So a lot of like, all right, let's slow down and analyze it. So I feel like that's just kind of like his style. But as far as that, I felt the rest of it was solid. Like the set design and the like costuming and just the color palette of the film, right? Like it was very vibrant, very animated.
One of the things about the trailers that worried me a little bit is when they showed the scene of like the Prince Ali song and they're all outside in the big elephant, it looked like it was a soundstage. Like it was just a short little contained thing, and it had me worried because I felt like I was gonna be watching someone performing on a soundstage instead of being immersed into the world.
Yeah.
But I was also another thing, I was pleasantly surprised because it felt like a world. It felt like a country, like an entire. I felt like I was in Agrabah.
Agrabah, of course. No,
it didn't feel like a soundstage. It felt like a fleshed out world.
No, yeah. Like I said, the production design was pretty top notch. I enjoyed it for the style that they were going for, the tone that they were going for the film, which is basically, you know, a live action cartoon, which is what it is, right? And it felt very vibrant in that sense. But you're right, it felt pretty fleshed out, and the world was like an interesting world. Let me say something about nostalgia real quick. I don't know whether nostalgia is a good or bad thing. I can't figure it out.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is indeed a double-edged sword, because I feel like it can be used against us, right? Because a lot of us obviously grew up with these classic cartoons, and they're very beloved to a lot of us. So I feel like Disney almost weaponizes nostalgia in a sense, right? They're like, you know what, we got all these heavy hitter classic films under our belt, and we're gonna make them all live action, and you guys are gonna love them, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just gonna love them. And you know, with this movie, I really felt that, and it's like, I don't know whether it was because of the movie actually being well directed and all that I felt all this emotion, or if it's because of, you know, our connection to these songs and these characters from childhood, you know, that I got really choked up. But there were several times throughout, basically all the songs. Yeah, the original songs, I should say. I
got a little bit of chills, like, oh yeah, I love this song. I flash back to my childhood watching on TV.
Exactly, and it's like, I love that, but it's like, does that make the movie good? Like, I don't know if it makes the movie, but I gotta say, I liked the movie. I really enjoyed the movie, but I don't know if it's because of the nostalgic connection we have to it.
Don't overthink it. Just enjoy the ride.
Just go with it. All right,
enjoy the ride. So let's get into spoilers. This has been your official spoiler alert. We're going to talk about 2019 Aladdin. All right. So pretty much, I think everyone in the world knows the story of Aladdin. So I just want to touch briefly in the spoiler section about some of the differences that we'll find. This movie is about a half hour, maybe 35 minutes more than the original.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do they add? Well, they add a lot of context, actually, to like Jafar's thirst for power, and they add an extra song that's new, which I feel suffers from modern Disney songism, which for the most part, the modern Disney songs of the modern movies are very forgettable. Like Frozen got lucky with Let It Go. But other than that, I mean, I think that's been a problem with modern Disney movies. Iago had an action scene.
Right. You know what? That was not bad though.
That was not bad. I liked it because they let, you know, the carpet shine, which I enjoyed. I think the best performance of the entire movie was One Jump Ahead. That's the song that I loved the most, maybe even better than the original.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
When it comes to A Whole New World, I think it was, you know, they could have given it a little more emotion in the movie.
No.
Prince Ali, I think Will Smith could have done a much better job. He looked very, like, bored singing the song, I think.
Okay.
And that's my favorite song of the whole movie is Prince Ali. And then, you know, you get Jasmine's, like, you know, girl empowerment song which was okay. And she sang great.
Yeah, she's a good singer, Naomi Scott.
All of the singing was great, I thought. What'd you think of the songs?
The songs were fantastic. That's the thing. Those are the reasons everyone loves these movies, right? Specifically, like, well, in this case, Aladdin, right? Like the soundtrack and the songs are so classic, and everybody loves them. So, like, as far as like the first song, I do like that song, right? Like One Jump Ahead or whatever it's called. I like it, but I feel like maybe the Mina Masood or whatever his name is, like the Aladdin character, the actor, I feel like he might have been like the weak link of the cast. Like, he was okay. He did a good job. Like, he was passable as Aladdin. He was decent as Aladdin. Yeah, he wasn't bad. I'm not saying he was bad, but he himself, so why do you hate him? Because he's the worst.
I want to touch briefly on some of the stuff I did not like about the movie.
Okay.
So I mentioned a little bit how some of the songs felt a little uninspired, but overall I think the songs were well done. But the biggest gripe that I had with this movie, which is why it shocked me that you said that Aladdin was the weakest link, the actor who played Aladdin. Jafar, dude. I did not like the casting for Jafar.
Mm-hmm.
He was this young. I don't know why these Disney movies all they want to do is cast young hot people for everything. Like
Isn't
Jafar,
that all of Hollywood?
Yeah, no. Jafar
Yes.
Jafar is this old geezer who just lusts for power. And you get this young dude. Okay, let's compare real quick. Original Jafar?
Remember, bring me the lamp. The rest of the treasure is yours, but the lamp is mine.
2019 live action Jafar.
There's a cave of wonders. Bring me the lamp.
I'm sorry, dude. It's you get the original Jafar of bring me the lamp, and then you get movie Jafar, bring me the lamp. What the hell's that, dude?
Okay.
Jafar's acting, super whiny, high-pitched voice the entire time.
Yeah.
He just looked super young. He didn't look menacing. The chief of the military guard in the palace
Was more menacing?
Was more Jafar than this fool was.
Yeah.
More menacing. He was just like an old angry man. He should have been Jafar. Whoever you are, you were robbed of the role of Jafar. That should have been you, bro.
Okay, well let me first back up my statement about Aladdin being the Aladdin actor being the weak link. I was talking about the main three characters in the film. Aladdin.
Let me hear you say that
Jasmine,
Jafar is the weakest.
Aladdin, Jasmine, and Genie. Those are the three leads in the film, right? Of the three leads, Aladdin is the weak link. Jafar, I agree with you that it would have been nice to see an actor with a little more gravitas, with a little more presence and a little...
Bring me the lamp.
But let me tell you what I think they were going for here. In this movie...
You're right, a wimpy fool.
In this movie...
Bring me the lamp.
Okay, and let me tell you what I think they were going for with the casting of Jafar in this film. In this movie, they obviously went way further in depth as far as giving these characters a backstory, at least with Jafar, right? So in this film, or in the cartoon, Jafar is just generic baddie that wants power. Generic
human Scar.
Yes, he's just
Lion King.
Exactly. He's just generic Disney baddie. In this film, they tried to give him something of a backstory, right? They paralleled Jafar with Aladdin.
I'm about to destroy your argument, but
they paralleled Jafar with Aladdin. We're talking about the first movie, not the sequels or any of the other films.
I'm not even bringing up the sequels.
Now, in this, you don't even know my argument. That you're gonna destroy my argument. You don't even know my argument. They paralleled Jafar with Aladdin in this film, right? There was a scene early on when Aladdin gets caught by Jafar and is basically forced to go into the Cave of Wonders, right? And he tells him, I was a lot like you. You and I are not so different, right? Like that dumb trope in films. And he's like, I was a thief too, and whatever. He does that little move where he takes something out of Aladdin's pocket, right? So they try to make it seem like they're two sides of the same coin. That's why they picked a younger actor, someone that's more comparable to Aladdin in that sense. So I think that's what they were going for with that choice, because
okay, that's actually a pretty good point. But no, because they could have just as easily picked a big menacing old geezer to play Jafar, and he could have still had the when I was young I was a thief like you, and then pulled the thing out of the pocket,
right?
And he would have been more menacing, and it wouldn't have had a high pitched whiny voice. He would have had more gravitas. He was a vizier at one point. There's no royal vizier that's gonna be a kid. He needs to be an old wise
He's not a kid, dude. First of all, he is older than Aladdin. So you're to say he's not older than Aladdin is false.
He tells one of the henchmen, like, you don't know what I've been through in life, the bodies I've had to bury throughout the years. It's like, dude, you're like 25. What are you talking about, dude?
You're exaggerating, dude. Big time. He was not 25. He was clearly older than Aladdin. He just wasn't an old man.
Jafar needs to be an old man.
No, he doesn't. First of all, Jafar wasn't even an old man in the original.
Yes, he was.
He was just a scary looking dude.
A very old man.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, you know
the Sultan was gray haired.
Google
Jafar's had a head full of luscious, full, dark hair. Okay,
and he was practically bald in this movie.
He was not bald. He just had a fade.
Stupid. No. No.
My point is, they wanted to make them more comparable and closer in age because they wanted to show that two sides of the same coin. That's what I think.
I didn't like it.
Okay, then you're fair enough, but you're wrong. Final thoughts. I enjoyed the movie way more than I thought I would. I don't know if it was the nostalgia factor, like I mentioned earlier. I would recommend it. If you're a fan of the original Aladdin, I think you're gonna like it.
Okay. I agree with you for the most part. I thought the movie was very fun. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. And yeah, so I would definitely recommend it. It's one of the best of the live action Disney movies, I feel. And I'd probably buy it.
All right.
So guys, let us know what you thought of the live action version of Aladdin, and please let us know, did you like Jafar or was he completely miscast? Please let us know in the comments. Make sure to follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.